welcome to Let's Get the Neighbors Talking. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Lauren. We're your hosts and co-founders of Moon and Stone, a crystal company born from our love of all things weird.
This podcast is for you, the person ready to try something new, explore the unconventional, and find your way back to joy, even if it makes the neighbors talk.
We're diving into crystals, meditation, energy work, and all the weird things that transformed our lives. We'll share our journey from overwhelmed moms to spiritual businesswomen and chat with inspiring guests like psychics, yogis, and badass entrepreneurs.
Because sometimes the path to happiness is the one you least expect. And trust us, it's worth it. We're so happy you're here. Here we are.
Here we are. I mean, okay, we're doing a podcast. I mean, does anybody even want to listen?
I don't know, but here we are doing it. And this is Let's Get the Neighbors Talking. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Lauren. And thank you so much for joining us.
It'll be fun to see what comes out of our mouth. Generally, this is just like HQ banter.
HQ is where we work with our little crystal shop.
HQ is where we work. We are the co-founders of Moon and Stone.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop.
Which is a crystal company. So we're a couple regular gals. I mean, we think regular, who dove into all the weird.
We dove into weird, and then when our neighbors started talking about us, we decided to make a business out of it. No, our neighbors didn't talk about us. Did yours?
Mine for sure.
Get out.
Oh, yes. I mean, well, I was like, when I was like having like my little mental breakdown, I mean, I was laying in my front yard, like trying to ground myself. Yeah. And then do you remember when we were manifesting and you came over and I set out a blanket in my driveway?
Yeah, I do. We were wearing wearable sleeping bags, too, outside on your driveway with a bunch of crystals in front of us, trying to manifest what we have now.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that shit worked.
It worked. What year was that? 2021? 2021. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was in March of 2021. Okay, so a little backstory. Like, I was working at a restaurant. Not like figuring, like, not like, how am I going to be able to get out of this? And we 100% manifested that.
We did. We started kind of looking for our own healing solutions during times of stress. I mean, fucking COVID.
Yep.
And then you had a health scare.
Yeah, COVID was actually like not stressful for me in terms of like, it gave me space to figure out my shit because I had my little breakdown like that summer before.
Right. Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always funny. Like, I wonder if we didn't have the space of COVID, like, would we have had the time to allow this Moon and Stone to develop? You know what I mean?
Probably not. The amount of time I spent on walks listening to Eckhart Tolle, trying to figure out my freaking brain and life and why I was here on this earth.
Yep.
Like,
otherwise,
I wouldn't have had time to do that.
No, we would have been driving people around everywhere. We would have been like doing homework and sports and this and that. So, I don't know. Very, very interesting. This podcast could potentially not be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, so Lauren and I started Moon and Stone back almost 3 years ago.
Yep.
We decided that there were alternative ways to give us the joy, the energy, the clarity, and the peace that we were looking for. And we kind of had exhausted all our other options.
Yeah, and we were looking for that because just like what you said, like, shit happened.
Yeah.
Like, powder kegs were built up and then they exploded.
Correct.
And so, like, when that happens, like when you've exhausted all other, like, quote unquote conventional options and like you have nothing left, like, that's when you're like, oh shit, like, there's got to be something out there. And like, that's what happened. I mean, I had a complete like mental freak out because I had a health scare and it completely like shifted my whole way of thinking. And I couldn't get out of it. And I'll never forget, my aunt said to me, have you tried meditating? And I was like, meditating? Like, I can't even like get through the next 5 minutes with my anxiety. Like, you want me to like meditate? Like, no. But I had no other option. I had no other option. I went on anti-anxiety medication, but that was going to take like 6 weeks to kick in. And so that is actually what started like meditating, is because there was no other option. And then meditation went into like energy went into crystals. Like it all like took like this like whole progression, and like it went into how our mind and our body are so connected, and how our mind, which mine was crazy, how it affects your physical body, which is what it did also.
It manifests in disease.
Yep.
And stress and anxiety, and that builds up. And I think seeing you go through that terrified me, because I was experiencing so much stress in my own life, and I thought I was doing such a good job at juggling it all. Like, and I was smiling pretty. I was showing up for all the things I needed to show up for, but inside I was crumbling.
Well, and that's like what our society, I feel like, has like you felt like you were doing it right because you were smiling, you were putting it all together, because we felt like we had to like be it all.
Yeah.
Do it all. Volunteer for everything. Be the best wife. Be the best mom. Like, I mean.
Turns out I wasn't the best at either of those things.
Wrong. You're very good. Very good.
But I think, finding crystals and finding meditation and energy work through you, and really like, I am so grateful unfortunately for your experiences, because they brought me to find the peace and the calm and the joy. Like the amount of joy I now have in my life.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I know.
I never thought that it was possible to not give a shit anymore. And I mean, listen, I give a shit about a lot of things and a lot of people, and I have a lot of love that I give out, and a lot of things, nice things I like to do for people. But the weight that has been lifted off of my shoulders by using energy work to clear my space and my mental capacity, by using crystals to higher my vibration, to ground me, to trust, it's changed my life.
It's crazy, right? And it's also like, but see, we have the support of each other, right? Like, I would not have felt comfortable diving into all this weird if I didn't have your support. Like, if you weren't, like, we would be taking our walks, and I still remember, I was like, oh my God, like, I tried this, I'm trying to meditate, like, it's pretty weird, like, it makes me feel really uncomfortable. I'm going in my closet and shutting the door because I was, like, embarrassed. Like, isn't that crazy that you're embarrassed to take a few moments to yourself and to shut your eyes?
It was so shameful. I remember before my divorce and separation, I never took a nap. I never went in my room and shut the door, because I felt so guilty that I was taking that time for myself. I was expecting someone to say, like, well, what did you do today? Prove to me that you were worthy. Prove to me that you did something that was meaningful. And like, to now just know that I'm enough. I mean, some days I don't.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
I mean,
but to have that space that you took for yourself, and then you allowed others to accept that for themselves.
yeah. And so if we didn't have the support of each other, like, I don't know how far we would have gone in this journey, which is what actually prompted us to start Moon and Stone. Like, not crystals being the first thing. It wasn't like, oh man, like, we want to put together a business and sell crystals. That was a part of it, but it wasn't the main part of it. The main part of it was to be a support for anybody else that is looking for different, that's looking for more, and that wants the support of being like, oh, like, I am into crystals. Like, I do carry a crystal around. Like, oh, these girls do too. And they're quote unquote normal women. Like, I don't have to feel weird about it. And I'll never forget, like, when we first started and we were both embarrassed to like be carrying around crystals. Like,
I wasn't embarrassed as you.
I was big time. But when we started, the amount of people that came up to us and were like, "Oh my God, like I use crystals. Like I have this one, I have that one," like out of the woodworks.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, people, I think we're drawn to not only our story and our mission, but the energy that they saw behind it and the energy that they saw coming out of it. And really, like, we are normal-ish. I mean, we're actually really not that normal.
But who is?
But I don't want to be.
No, exactly. So, and that's so funny. It's like, okay, so normal was before all of this, where I was working 2 jobs and doing all the volunteer positions and doing everything for my family and like thinking the more power I had, the more responsibility, the more I had on my plate, the more worthy I was, the more respect I could command. I mean,
100%.
I can remember being in the shower and seeing hives on my arm because I was so stressed and being like, oh yeah, like thinking it was a good thing.
Wow.
Exactly. Like, so if that's normal, no thanks. No.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't involved in every charity function that went on in town, I didn't feel good enough. And I think because I was a stay-at-home mom, like I know you went from being a stay-at-home mom, having your own businesses at home, to working in restaurants and back and forth, but I was home. And I felt like I was grasping for something. I was like, there's something more, but I just didn't know what it was. And then to find, to find this passion that has been there the whole time in my creativity, in my love for spirituality, it's like, it's made my life so happy and joyful. And I'm so grateful for you as a friend.
Oh, grateful for you as a friend. Okay, let's not get weird.
I thought we were just talking about getting weird.
Make me feel uncomfortable.
It's because you have eyelashes.
I do. I have eyelashes on. Okay. Yeah, it's in allowing this space and allowing, like, letting ourselves take the time and letting, anybody who's a part of their community feel like, oh, okay, these girls are taking the time for themselves. Like, we're not saying like you have to get into crystals or that's the best way or spirituality is the best way to go, but giving yourself that time and space that allows you to figure out what lights you up, like what's your passion.
Yeah.
And go for it.
I also think that it's giving yourself the space and it's giving yourself the opportunity to try something that might be different than what everybody else is doing. Therapy's great. I've been in therapy my whole life. Fine. I'm going to still do that. But that's not the only choice I have to change my energy and my perspective and how I see things. And I think that there's so many different things for people to try. They're just embarrassed, like you said. They're embarrassed, they're scared, they think it's weird. And I think there's that whole, like, something that's not tangible, which in spirituality, a lot of people are like, well, how do you know? How do you know? Like, I don't fucking know. But you know what feels really good? Is trusting that. Is trusting that there's good out in the world, trusting that the earth is here to take care of me, trusting that crystals are working to help me stabilize my moods. I mean, meditation, there is science behind that. There is science behind crystals.
Oh, yeah.
It's just people are looking the other way.
But when you said there's nothing tangible, that's why I love the crystal aspect.
Exactly.
Because that actually is the tangible piece,
right,
which is so, like, that is very comforting. Like, whether or not you believe in the energy that crystals carry, fine. You still have a tangible reminder of, like, oh, this piece of pyrite is going to give me the confidence that I need. Oh, this piece of sodalite, this is going to help me speak in a clear, concise manner, and I am going to nail that public speaking event that I have. So, I mean, that's like that's what I love about crystals so much. I do wish that crystals had a different name.
You don't like the name Crystal?
No, I
We have a client named Crystal.
I like the name Crystal.
I'm sorry she said that about your name.
That is not true. So I like the name Crystal, I think that crystals have like this super weird, like when we tell people that we own a crystal shop, everybody's like, oh.
We used to.
Okay, weirdo.
Remember when we had a camper named Moonshine, and we would take her to different places in town to just sell crystals out of the camper. It actually sounds it sounds sketchy, but it was super
just a
cute,
couple
okay?
of 40-plus-year-old gals just taking a camper around to sell crystals out of. Completely normal.
But we would stand outside and be like, "Hi, welcome. This is Moon and Stone." They're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And we say, "Oh, well, we sell crystals. Would you like to come in and look?"
They're like, no.
No, they kept walking.
Yeah, no,
They
thank
kept
you.
walking.
So I wish that crystals had a different name, because they got like such a bad rap.
Yeah, but from what?
I don't know. Maybe witches? I don't know.
I mean, witches got a bad rap too, to be honest.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, they got this like this reputation crystals did of like just like being like super weird.
Being super weird, and I think being a little dark. Well, the same thing with psychics, the same thing with tarot card readers.
Yeah.
Like I think there was this, I don't know, whole movement that made it seem that you were like working with dark magic.
Yeah.
Which,
Maybe that was it. Like, and it was like, there was no middle ground.
Right.
I felt like that was like really lacking, that middle ground. And I feel like we're the middle ground.
When we started our business, there was no middle ground either.
I know.
I mean, we started, collecting crystals, 4+ years ago. Mm-hmm. And when we did, it was like you had to go on random websites.
Yeah.
There was not even a shop in town. Oh, there was one store. There's a yoga store that did have crystals. That's how we ended up with them.
Yep.
And then we had, but other than that, we would buy them online. And, they would come in super tiny pieces or super big.
Yeah.
You had no idea what you were going to get.
Yeah.
And the pictures, didn't always match the descriptions.
Yeah. Yeah, it was confusing.
And it felt weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There was a lot of baby's breath in those photos. Do you remember that?
No.
Of the crystals? It was like a plate with like either sand or colored salt.
Okay.
And baby's breath
so it
around
was.
them.
It is providing
Freesia.
a lot of
Isn't
the
that
same.
a flower? Freesia?
Oh, I think so. The yellow one.
No, it's
Freesia.
Freesia.
That's yellow though.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. No.
It's
forget-me-nots.
No.
Okay. Fine. We shall move
anyway,
past the flower naming.
They were like, it felt
weird. Yeah.
And, I remember getting started and feeling so good about it, and journaling was my form of meditation. As I got, into this, journaling was so important for me to express this stuff I was embarrassed about.
Yeah.
I guess. Mm-hmm. Because I could write down those things and then shut the book and hide it under my bed. But I mean, I think you remember, like, my ex-husband, like, thought I was in a cult.
Oh, I know. Well, and that, like, I mean,
he was like,
that made me embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, are we doing something wrong?
I was like, why? Because I'm fucking happy.
Yeah, wrong.
So, I mean, I think...
Can't be happy.
Can't be happy. Too happy.
Yeah, not good.
Scary for people, though.
It is. Yes, it is. It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're not going to like this comparison, but it's like when you stop drinking for a bit, it makes other people uncomfortable because they're looking at that.
Really makes me uncomfortable.
I know it doesn't
when
make
you stop drinking.
I know it doesn't make you uncomfortable, but does it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, see? Exactly. Oh my God. That's actually really funny.
I don't. You don't know that?
No.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, but I think it's the same thing when somebody's too happy. The other person is like, well, why aren't I? It makes them uncomfortable.
Well, it also makes you start accusing the person of, they must be doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't have that in life.
Right.
Right. Like, I think
not
other
supposed to be
people
that
kind of
happy.
look at you like, but you should be stressed. If you're not stressed, why aren't you worried?
Yeah.
What happens if you don't worry? Actually, Nothing fucking happens if you don't worry.
It took us a long time to figure that out. And we're still not very good at it. But
I mean, nothing different happens. So you can worry.
it's a secret.
This doesn't actually work. It doesn't change the outcome at all.
Nope.
It doesn't work. I was telling my therapist the other day, I was like, God, I just wish, I wish I could, be comfortable with the outcome and like know it. And she laughed. She goes, well, you're never going to know that. And I was like, you're right.
And thank God.
I'm never going to know that.
What if we knew the outcome to everything? A, we wouldn't try new things. B, we would just like be terrified. You know what I mean?
Well, I think fear does come from the unknown, though.
Yeah. But if you already knew the outcome and it's a no good outcome, not good.
Like my marriage?
Oh, Jesus. Wow, just really getting in there, aren't you? Oh, P.S. This is a secret piece of information. Courtney is actually a therapist.
I am.
I know.
I am. You guys, welcome to Get to Know Courtney. I have my MSW
But like that's
from the University of Southern California.
That's a cool fact. Like the other day, I was like texting her because I just needed a shitload of advice. And like, I can tell when you flip into therapist mode, like immediately, because it goes from like, and then it's like, bop, 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 bop. And so I just responded with my, with a, like the
Sergeant.
the salute, like emoji, because I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, it feels really good that like a professional is helping.
Yeah, well, I'll help when I can. This business, I could not figure out what I wanted to do in life. Mm-hmm. So I went to school for psychology, my undergrad. I then decided to go to school for fashion.
How many schools did you go to altogether?
Perhaps 7. Could be 5. I can't remember. So then I went to school for fashion. No. I went to school, my undergrad in psychology.
Okay.
Check. Then I went to school for fashion in Los Angeles. I loved it, but it was a 1-year program. I finished and I was like, I'm not fulfilled.
Well, and also, no thank you for real life. I shall go back to school.
I don't know if that was better. Because then I went to school at USC to get my master's in social work and worked in downtown LA with kids being threatened from taken from the home. So it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But it was really fulfilling. And then I went back to being a shop girl. Then I went to working in a boutique. I could not figure out how to connect my creative brain with my kind of desire to help and service people. Mm-hmm. Moon and Stone. It is just to be able to be creative at work and help people at the same time. Making my sprays, making the candles myself, putting together crystal bundles and custom necklaces for people, aesthetically picking out crystals for people's homes that raise their energy and their vibration. Like, it just fits me perfectly.
And helping our vibe not be weird. Because let's be honest, if I was just doing this on my own, it would be like the most cookie cutter like business and website and but like that's where your creativity shines, like with the colors and how things look and all of that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's funny, you guys, some of you guys have watched us on Instagram. I don't know if anybody's even fucking listening to this, but we are so different.
What do you mean? On Instagram?
No, you and I are different.
Oh, different people?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I actually wish I could like see my person, me, 5 years ago. Like, and I would just look at her and be like, oh my God, you are missing it all. Like, you're missing all of it. You're missing your kids. You're missing your husband. You're missing what is truly important. Like, you're missing it. And I'm not missing it anymore. Like, and that feels, thank God.
It feels so good.
But I think,
actually am like thinking back. I mean, so much of my life has changed in the past 3 years, but like, I can remember what I was like then, but I am so much more me. Like, I think that's what it is like, I never felt like myself.
Yeah.
I never felt like I could ask for what I want. I was worthy of things that were lit me up, that I could act weird. I could dance in front of my kids. I embarrassed the shit out of them. And I'm fine with it. And actually, I think they are too. But I feel so much more in my skin now than I ever have before. I think that's the major difference, is that like I speak a voice that is all mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is something that, like, tragedy happens, shit happens, like divorces happen, health issues happen, like really bad, hard things happen. But you don't know what's going to come of it.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Oh, geez, please don't. You know,
Yeah.
like, so I think that that's an important thing to remember. And like, when you're in the shit, like, nobody also wants to hear that when you're in the shit too, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, it's
what?
going to get better. You're
Right,
gonna
yeah.
be so
Like,
happy
cool,
afterwards.
fuck off, okay? Like, get out of here. But it is true. And just having that trust and having that faith. And again, like, that's why we started this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, suffering is part of life.
No, thank you.
Nobody's getting around that. And so we have to keep showing up for each other and for ourselves, because that's going to happen. And that's okay, because out of suffering comes growth. Like, we don't change when we're comfortable.
No.
We don't evolve when we're comfortable.
No.
We evolved when we're forced to. And, I think that, my kind of relationship worries and seeing my family fall apart really forced me to become stronger, but also to become the person I love right now, And I don't think I wouldn't have had, like, I have chills. I wouldn't have had any of this without completely falling apart. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you remember, like, I was broken. Mm-hmm. And, and I'm remembering back to you when you got, your health scare and diagnosis, and picking you up in the car with running to different doctor's offices to get scans and to pick things up. And, like, you were broken. Mm-hmm. And out of that, we get this joy.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
In this friendship, in this company, and
in this community.
Community
the people
that we've met.
Yeah.
It's really, out of pain, you do rise. The sun rises again.
They got that tattooed right to my...
You did. Right to your arm.
Right to my arm.
I still have to look at my tattoo. My tattoo says pause. Lauren and I got them when we first started the company.
Yeah.
And we got
Courtney got in trouble by her mom.
Logo put on our arms. Oh my God, you guys, my mom came knocking at my door because she called to try to yell at me. Let me just remind you, I was 48 years old with 3 kids, my own home, and my own business, okay? Knocking on my door.
You got in trouble.
Because I didn't answer. How dare I? I don't even know. Like, she didn't even know what it said. She didn't even know what it was. How dare I put something on my body? It's not the first time, though. I've got 3 tattoos, Mom.
She's got a giant tramp stamp.
Damn it!
Well, that was in the style back then. You were in style, okay?
I was in style.
I actually
it's coming
heard.
back.
I was just gonna say. I think that they are coming back. It is time now, Courtney. Low-rise jeans. Let's get that tramp stamp out.
The problem is I can no longer wear low-rise jeans.
No,
because I also am 49 and
it's not appropriate.
It's not okay.
It's not appropriate.
It could be for some 49-year-olds.
No,
but not my
I don't
body.
think so. I don't think so. No. And if it is, we'd like to see a picture. And we'll be the first to say, you look great.
Yeah. Oh, totally. But I do think we have found a place to share our weird, to share our joy and our love, and really just this beautiful, beautiful light, I think that we have.
Yeah, and I think that that's why this podcast is the next progression for us, even though it makes me so fucking nervous because we put ourselves out there on Instagram quite a bit, but that's just little snippets of here and there, and it's like 30 seconds, it's like a minute, it's like ooh, how can we connect with our community and make a reel for it to connect? But this is going to be like 30 to 40 minutes an episode of us like really putting ourselves out there.
Do you think I said something bad?
No. Oh my God.
Can we delete?
No, I don't think you said anything bad at all. I'm saying that this is allowing ourselves to continue to share, to continue to be more vulnerable, and to be putting ourselves out there in order that it connects with somebody else, and somebody else is like, oh, like, okay, like maybe I do want to do something different or try some meditation or, you know, get that crystal or whatever it is. Like, you know, we were people that I'm sure like members of our community and like other mom groups and this are probably like, what the fuck are these two up to? And I can't even imagine what people were saying about us. You know what I mean? But like,
they didn't say it to our face.
Nobody does. You know what I mean? Nobody does. But like, I guess like that's all. Like this is why we're here. Like we're your support to just go out there, go do it. Like start meditating. Join us every Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a 10-minute live meditation for all beginners. Like join us.
I mean, I love that meditation because I think the vibration rises.
Totally.
Today. When we were doing the meditation, I did think about, I felt my, you know, energy and light shining out to everybody else and connecting. And I think that that's really special. Energy can be felt via, you know, headphones, phones, computers, all of those things. It works across different modalities. And I also love that we're going to be interviewing people, you guys.
Yes.
We're going to be interviewing psychics, yogis,
Spirit guide, ways to handle and deal with grief. We got a whole lineup. We're going to be interviewing female entrepreneurs and like how they got started. Just
bravely started businesses that maybe somebody thought was weird or wasn't going to work. So, you know what? We're here to answer questions. We love answering questions on Instagram. So please reach out to us. Please watch us. We have fun. But all of that gets erased. This doesn't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's terrifying. Also, another fun fact is Courtney can never say goodbye. So I can tell that she's trying to wrap this up. But we will probably go on for another 5 to 10 minutes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.